Hey, my people, what's going on? It's your boy Mario of Woke Up a Rebel, and you are here once again with me for another episode of Woke Up a Rebel Reacts. So, today I'm going to be talking about a very sensitive topic, controversial topic. What's it about? Tattoos. I don't know if you can see mine, but yeah. Anyways, it's going to be about tattoos. I grew up in a Christian home, so a lot of the content that you'll hear me speak about is going to be from my perspective as somebody who grew up in a Christian home, like I just said. And I was taught a lot of things a certain way, in my upbringing in church and different churches where I heard different things, different youth leaders. And at times, I honestly can tell you, I did not agree with a lot of the stuff they were saying. Maybe it was my rebellion, I don't know. But now that I'm older and I do a little bit more research, I find that this topic about tattoos is something that needs to be corrected once and for all. Do I have all the answers? Am I right? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm leaning more towards that maybe this particular verse in the Bible that I'm about to share has been twisted around in an incorrect way to benefit those who are trying to support their own argument that tattoos are not something that God is pleased with. So here's a YouTube short of a preacher that I tune into sometimes, but I don't know. I feel like his views are a little bit too extreme, especially with this one when it comes to tattooing. So let's check out Pastor Vlad over here and what he has to say about tattoos.
Are tattoos demonic? 1 out of 5 US adults has at least one tattoo. In Leviticus 19:28, it talks about not making any markings in your flesh or not having any tattoos. But we also know that in Near East, tattoos were used to mark slaves. Tattoos were used also during mourning. In ancient times, they would hurt themselves as an expression of deep sorrow, as it says in Jeremiah 16:6. In Egypt, mainly women were the ones who were tattooed, and they believed that it helped them with the birthing process and provided like a good luck charm. In the Canaan, the land that Israel entered, it was common for people to slash their bodies for ritualistic purposes. Because tattooing involves piercing the skin, and such a piercing has pagan spiritual associations, tattooing can open doors to demonic influence. That also does not mean that every person who has a tattoo has a demon, but it can open doors to demons.
Okay, so what Homeboy over here is saying is that it can open up doors to demons. I'm not gonna do the boy dirty over here and have his mugshot like that. So what he's trying to support is saying that tattooing could open doors to demons. Pagans used to do rituals where they'd cut themselves and tattoo themselves. These are some of the common things that I grew up listening to be honest. And this is the one thing about the scripture that he used in Leviticus, where he only uses a certain part of the verse and he doesn't read out the entire verse. And this is what a lot of people that try to use this verse to support that God does not want you tattooing your body, they miss this important part. It says, do not, in Leviticus 19:28, it says, do not cut your bodies for the dead or put tattoo marks on yourselves. I am the Lord. That's the NIV version. Another version says, do not cut your bodies for the dead, comma, and do not mark your skin with tattoos. I am the Lord. Let's look at the King James version. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, comma, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord. New King James. You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, comma, nor tattoo any marks on you. I am the Lord. So some will argue that, okay, point, like that's it, case closed, don't tattoo your body, God doesn't like it. That comma that's in that verse is actually very important, and we can't ignore it. It specifically says you should not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead. Here's an example of what I think that means. Let's say you get a tattoo of your favorite rapper. Rest in peace Nipsey, rest in peace Tupac, rest in peace Aaliyah, even, R&B star. Let's say these are one of these are your favorite artists, and you decide to tattoo them on your body. I think that's what that's referencing. Don't tattoo anything in honor of the dead. So as nice as the gesture may seem, God tells you don't do that. That's what I'm assuming this means. That's what I believe it means. Another example that's a little bit very sensitive, to a lot of people who have lost a loved one. Sometimes people get in remembrance of a family member, they tattoo their name with their birth date and the day that they passed away in honor of their loved one. The gesture seems nice, but it says here, don't tattoo your body with the name or image or anything of somebody that's already passed. Maybe you should get it in honor of them while they're still here, if it's somebody that really matters to you that much. But once they're gone, I think that's where this kicks in. So here's somebody else. I follow this channel called Inspiring Philosophy, and it's really cool. So here's another example.
It is morally permissible for Christians to get tattoos. It's not outlawed in the New Covenant, so people have to go to Leviticus 19 where it says you can't get a tattoo. But scholars note in that culture to get a tattoo signified you were a slave. God had just rescued Israel from slavery in Egypt, so he didn't want them to engage in practices that would signify they were still slaves. As this paper says, the avoidance of tattooing would serve as testimony to the Exodus and freedom from bondage. But that doesn't mean all tattooing was prohibited. The paper also notes that Isaiah 44:5 refers to someone getting a tattoo to show devotion to the Lord. This may indicate that getting a tattoo showing devotion to God would have been thought of as permissible, whereas getting a tattoo implying you rejected God and you're serving someone else would have been thought of as impermissible. But either way, I would argue Christians are under the New Covenant, and within its stipulations, there's nothing that would prohibit getting a tattoo, just like Gentiles don't have to be circumcised. It is moral.
Okay, so, my boy Mike, I think his name is Mike from Inspiring Philosophy. Highly recommend you check out his channel if you're somebody who's always been skeptical or at some point skeptical about the legitimacy of Bible scripture. I love listening to people that actually know stuff and actually have done their homework and are actual scholars, right? So this guy is one of them. Check him out. But back to the argument, he even used a verse from Isaiah where it's permissible to tattoo yourself and to honor God, right? So interesting, right? That's one of those things that you don't usually hear growing up, especially if you grew up in a Christian or Catholic home where your parents try to tell you that you can't do this or that because it's not pleasing to God. But I'm going to allow you to go and research this yourself, Leviticus 19:28, so that way we can dead this conversation, dead this argument that it's a sin to get tattoos. It's very specific what it says. It's a sin to get a tattoo of something against God or to mark your bodies for the dead. Okay, so I hope that you found some value in this video. I hope that it brought some new perspective to this. Have this conversation with others if you would like to, especially if you have Christian friends. Even if you're not Christian yourself, have this conversation with Christian friends, who are those type of people that think that it is a sin to get tattoos. You shouldn't be getting tattoos. So let me know what you think in the comment box. Do you agree? Do you think that I'm twisting around the Bible verse? Am I misinterpreting the Bible verse? Because I think it's pretty clear, right, when it tells you you should not get a tattoo. But am I wrong? Do you think so? What is your opinion? Let me know in the comment box below. Truly appreciate you staying with me until this point of the video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the channel. Share this video with a loved one who you think might find some value, and I hope you found some value in this. So thank you so much. See you in the next video. It's your boy Mario. Boom.